in 2 years, if it's longer than that, I'd be really worried about it. I'd be worried about its enforceability, but I'd rather we change it at the front end before you sign the contract. Because once you sign the contract, you say I'm leaving, or they ask you to leave, people's backs are going to be a little bit up about it. And there's not going to be necessarily the goodwill as there was at the front end of the relationship when you're just joining the employer. Everybody loves each other, there's rainbows every day, and everything's going to be great in terms of how it works. Think about the non-compete, what it means for you. In addition to non-compete, there could be a non-solicit. Okay? Non-solicit is, even though every patient, I didn't see any of the patients, you're not soliciting any of my patients because they're my patients. Even though I never saw any of them as the employer, you're not soliciting any of my patients. You're not going to solicit any of my staff. For some of you, your PA, your MP, your MA, the office manager, the administrative director for the division, he or she is essential to your day-to-day success. They may not be compensated the same way you do, but they're essential to your success in terms of what you do. If I'm the employer, I don't want you to take that person away, because even though they're invaluable for you, they're also invaluable for me as the employer. I might also have a non-interference clause that says you're not going to interfere with any of the contractual relationships that I have. If any of you are in hospital-based practices, anesthesia, pathology, radiology, and I don't know what everybody's specialty is, but in some respects, you're only as valuable as the exclusive contract that you have if you're in a private practice setting. If your group loses that exclusive contract, the last thing I want to have happen is you to go solicit that hospital to say, you know what, I can do better than Jay did in terms of running that practice. I'll give you Bruce's practice and we'll start that out. I'm going to want to protect that as the employer. So the non-competes can be really, really important. For some of you, it's the most important consideration in the contract. Now, if you're one of those people who says, the community where I'm going to start is not the community where I'm going to end, this is not where I consider home to be, this is not where I think I'm going to find a significant other or my significant other wants to be, it's not where I want to raise my kids if I want to have kids. If I was you, don't worry about the non-compete. Get as much salary as you can, get as much bonuses as you can, and get the shortest termination option as you can. So when you get to that dream job, or what you think is the dream job, you have the opportunity to go take advantage of that in the most seamless way for you so you can have continuity in your career. But if that is important in terms of the community where you start, and the community where you'd like to stay, the non-compete may be more important than the extra $5,000 or $10,000 that an employer might be paying you, with a timeline for you to advance in terms of becoming a shareholder or professor in terms of what you need to do. The important thing about this process is it's not one size fits all. Every one of you is going to have different priorities in terms of your goals, in terms of your short and long-term goals, and different things that you consider deal breakers in terms of your short and long-term deal breakers, in terms of what an employer is allowing you to do or not allowing you to do. So weigh that as you think about the non-competes. So compensation, term and termination, the details of the contract, the non-competes. 4 big areas of the contract you need to think about. The last big area that I'll tell you about, and then I'll let Jay share words. I should say it's really, really important. Nobody ever thinks they're going to get hurt. If you get hurt, having the disability insurance in place before it happens is good for yourself, it's good for your family, it gives you that extra level of protection. The good news is, while you're still in training, the companies want you to sign up for the insurance because it's cheaper for them as well in terms of the underwriting process. So if you buy that stuff now, it's much better than if you buy it when you're out 10 years in your career and you might have had life cycle events that happen or the unexpected happen. It's just be much more expensive. Same if you want to buy life insurance. You know, a 30-year-old can get a much cheaper life insurance policy than a 60-year-old can get because of the incidence of what's likely going to happen. So Jay will share a lot of very important knowledge in that regard. The last big area that I wanted to talk about just for a couple of minutes is professional liability insurance. It's the other way we can get really, really tripped up and make what should be a wonderful professional experience a very difficult professional experience. So there's 2 main types of professional liability insurance. One is what's called occurrence coverage, and the other is what's called claims coverage. So imagine that I'm a patient of yours today. God forbid there was a bad outcome. We all perceive that there was a bad outcome. You know, a true bad outcome, a perception of a bad outcome. I go find my friendly plaintiff's attorney who's advertising on the school board 95, and you've been injured, call so-and-so. I call so-and-so. Your last day of working in your current job was April 30th, the end of this month. I filed a suit sometime in May after you're gone. If your employer in April provided for you what's called an occurrence coverage, that covers you for anything that occurred while you're working for that employer in April, regardless of when the lawsuit's filed. Very good coverage to have. Actuarially, it's much more expensive. because the employer and the insurer are predicting for your specialty in that geographic area during the statute of limitations, what's the likelihood of a lawsuit being filed. It's a guess. It's an educated guess with actuarial experience. So many employers are saying, as a business, again, whether they're nonprofit or for-profit, large academic medical center or private practice, saying, what's the alternative to the occurrence coverage? So the alternative is what's called claims-based coverage. So same scenario, I'm a patient of yours today, God forbid I'm injured, your last day of work was April 30th, I file a suit sometime after April 30th, you're wanting your new job. Under the claims-made policy, as of April 30th, your last day of work, you or your April employer have to go out and purchase what's called tail coverage. You've all probably heard that term. The tail coverage works to sweep back in and protect you for something that happened when you were there in April, but the suit was filed after you're gone. Tail insurance is really, really expensive. A primary care physician with no claims, tail insurance could easily cost you $15,000 or $20,000. Is anybody here in anesthesia?